Okay, now we're back here to the outside of the vehicle, and I wanted to show you guys so this is the reverse cam I put in right here. It's got LEDs, so it lights up. It gets power from the taillight housing. So what I did was I bought a used taillight off of eBay, so I keep the original one, drilled a hole through it, flush mounted the camera. So when I put in, and also the camera's tapped into the power with the reverse light. So when I put the vehicle in reverse, the reverse light comes on. It also powers on the camera, and then sends the video signal up to the front of the vehicle. Reason I decided to do this was that if you put on a backup camera that mounts a license plate, because if it'd be either up here or down here, when you flip this down to put gas in, it would hit. If it was on the bottom, if it was on the top, it'd probably hit here somewhere on the bumper, and eventually the lens, I imagine, would be all scratched up and whatnot. The only other option other than a license plate mount, a backup camera, would be to drill somewhere in this bumper. And I'm not doing that. I'm dang sure not drilling through any sheet metal on the trunk. So this is a good solution. It was a $20 replacement lens, and I just drilled it, siliconed it, wired it in, and it's good to go. I can undo it and put it back factory anytime I want. In the trunk here, you see the components for the air ride suspension and the sound system. Hold on. Sorry about that. My daughter came out here. So, inside here, I've got two Vyair 485 compressors. They are on these float mounts. I think these are the best things to keep noise down when you're running compressors. Compressor actually mounts on these little rubber feet, and it floats kind of in the air and suspends them and keeps everything ultra quiet. The AccuAir Endo tanks are by far the most streamlined looking tanks in my opinion, especially the way they mount down. Everything's locked in. They have the threaded holes so you can mount these compressor mounts to the tank itself, and it just, like I said, just kind of floats there. So in my opinion, those are the best looking air tanks. I have a 5-gallon one here, and then way back here behind the subwoofer box is another 3-gallon. Now the 3-gallon one does have built-in valves for the front and back air ride suspension, but they move really slow. Even with the flow control opened up all the way and not set on maximum, they still are too slow, so I went back to my external valves. But if I ever decided I wanted to run side-side and not buy any more extra valves, or just go back to the slower ones, I have the option on this, because they are 2 valves on the end, on this end cap here where the pressure switch is on the inside of the tank, that are built in. I'm just not utilizing them right now, so basically I'm just using that small 3-gallon tank as a auxiliary extra air storage. So 8 gallons total of air to play with, running on 3/8 airlines. Right here I got the Kicker ZX. It's a 300.4, 300 watt 4-channel. This is for the mids and highs. I wanted to keep everything kind of a old school / mid school look. This amp is from, I want to say 2008 maybe, 2010 era, somewhere around there. They don't make these these specific ZX amps, they don't make anymore. I got 2 Kicker CVR 10s. One's an 05, one is a 07, and one is a dual 2 ohm voice, dual 2 ohm, and the other one is a dual, I want to say 1 ohm, I forget exactly, but basically I'm running 3 ohms at the amp. It's a monoblock amp. It is a little 400.1 at 2 ohm, so I'm probably seeing close to 350 RMS with this amp here. Same thing, I wanted to keep it kind of old school, kind of traditional, so I went with these, I call it mid school, but it's a monoblock amp, and this is what I'm running the subwoofers with. I did build the box, did a dual 10-inch downfire. I got the old school neon rings, so that nighttime these light up. These little rings underneath there light up blue, and those are the real ones from the late 90s, early 2000s, where it's actual neon and not the LED stuff that they have out today. That's all wired also in on this controller here, so I can turn this on and off. And then there's some blue LED lights. See that light bar right there? Illuminates down on the amp. So, and it's on both sides there. There's another light bar there that lights up blue. So at nighttime, this whole this whole trunk lights up blue. Inside the speaker box, everything, and for the most part, everything's pretty well hidden. See the air line going in, tucks in down there. But yeah, just and you know what? It's crazy. I still got plenty of room for storage. I put groceries in here. I go shopping in this thing. Obviously, I don't have as much as I would normally have, since the speaker box for the air tanks, compressors, and stuff like that are all there. But it's still, I've never had a problem where I didn't have enough storage space. And then here's a side view. I put in these 22-inch wheels from US Mags. These are the Hustlers, 22x9, front and back. And the tire that I did, I want to say it's kind of an oddball tire. I want to say it's like a 255/35 22. And the reason I went with that tire, number one, it's got enough tread on there to where the ride isn't really hard, and also the outside circumference of this tire is the same or as close as I could get to matching the factory tire, the 15-inch factory tire. What that means is no matter what gear I'm in, if I'm in highway passing gear, cruising at 70-80 miles an hour, or in town driving 20 to 30 miles an hour, my speedometer is less than 1 mile per hour off in any gear that I'm in. So that's really nice to have my speedometer still be accurate. The mileage it puts on the vehicle is still accurate. Also, since this is still a carbureted vehicle, it's controlled by the TV cable. The transmission shifting is still controlled by the TV cable, so I didn't have to mess with anything. So that was really nice to have that, and it was important to me to have that. On the center caps, I did add a Cadillac emblem, and just to carry through the vehicle. It also kind of hides what the wheels are, so if you don't want people knowing what wheels you have, which I don't mind, but some people do, it covers up, because normally it says US Mags on the center cap here, so that covers that up also. Went ahead and did the Cadillac emblem, valve stem covers, and then I wanted to keep things kind of classy, so I went ahead and I made all these decals custom made. This is all the brands that I used in my build. I named the car Cloud 9 after my grandfather who passed away. They say, you're loving life and everything. They say you're on Cloud 9. Also, Cadillacs, they say, is like driving a cloud down the road, basically. It kind of floats around. So a mixture of my grandfather, the vehicle ride, and that, the saying of riding around on a cloud, was my motivation and kind of inspiration to getting the car named that Cloud 9. On this side here again, these are the brands that we used on the build. I probably need to take off that Planet Audio one since I changed the head unit out to the Sony, but when I first did the build on the vehicle and made all these decals, I had a Planet Audio head unit. And you can see here, this is the aftermarket power antenna. I keep this thing oiled and cleaned. I only use it when I'm using the radio. And like I said, I have that connected to a push button toggle switch on the inside of the vehicle in the dash panel, so I can turn it on or off whenever I feel like it. Because like I said, these newer radios, they don't have the power antenna wire. They have just the amp remote turn on wire. So basically, if the head unit's on, the power antenna would be up, and I don't like having it up if I'm not using it, especially if you drive it down the highway. They bend a little bit sometimes because they're so long, and you could hit something, who knows, but I like it down when I'm not using it, and when I am using it, I just push a button, it comes up, no problem. This is the front. I did do a custom Angel Boy with the 1988 license plate. This is just a piece of this is just a piece of ABS plastic. Started off as a 12 by 12 by 1/8 inch thick sheet of ABS. I designed the Angel Boy. That was a skateboard that I used to skate back in the 90s. That was real popular. I thought that logo with the name of the vehicle all fit pretty well, so I designed that decal, printed it up, added the 1988, stuck it on a piece of ABS plastic, cut it down to size with a router, just traced a extra license plate I had in the shop, and then I put a like a satin clear coat on there. I'm looking at possibly doing my own grill or finding one, because I really would like to get either an all horizontal would be cool, because no one else is running those. They either run these checkered ones or the vertical ones that look like the Rolls-Royce grills. So I'm thinking I might do like an all billet straight across, kind of like the Phantom grills from the 90s, early 2000s. Or I'll modify one and build my own where it's got the vertical grill that looks like the Rolls-Royce grills. So I do need to get new bumper fillers for the front end here. And this one corner bumper filler here I had to replace at one point. It's a hard fiberglass. The paint doesn't match super well, but I had it mixed using the factory paint code into an aerosol can, so that's as good as it gets for me. But yep, this is my car, and I love driving it around. I drove to Oklahoma and back from Minnesota last August, no problems. Air conditioning works. Everything works as it's supposed to. The only things that don't work on here like it's supposed to is the opera lights and the cruise control, and those are two things I'm hoping to fix this summer. So that's my car.